Of the Transform Your Life in 15 Minutes. Congratulations. I'm so excited and proud of you guys. For those of you that have stuck around for the whole 30 days, whether it was live or watching the recording, you should be proud of yourself. I don't know if you noticed this, but there's the purpose of this challenge is actually to help you reach your goals, and it's by taking little baby steps, one at a time. So if you think about it, just spending 15 minutes a day. If you've done the whole 30 days, do you realize if you spent 450 minutes of doing something positive for yourself, that equates to like 7.5 hours. So almost a whole 8 hours of doing something positive. And you say, well, what's 8 hours? 8 hours is fantastic if currently you were doing 0. So I want to welcome you. Good morning, Patty. How's it going? All right, so I'm so excited today. I just really can't contain myself with all the exciting news that happened today. So let me just first slow down, take a couple breaths, and kind of tell you about what this challenge is, okay, or what the purpose of this challenge. So as I mentioned before, the purpose of this challenge is to help you reach your goals. Wait, before I get started, let's see, what are you doing? Okay, I see, yes. Oh, good morning. Thank you for having her watch. Before I do that, let me go ahead and introduce myself. Like I said, I'm getting all excited. I might leave something out. So my name is McAdams, and I am an accounting professor. I'm also a certified coach. I specialize in personal and small business finance and also fitness. I help people reach goals in those areas. Okay, so the purpose of this challenge, to transform your life in 15 minutes, is to help you reach your goals. That's the purpose. Now, what it is obviously transforming your life in 15 minutes. And what we're doing is we're doing 5-minute exercises, one each on the mind, body, and soul. Now, how you're going to transfer your life, there's actually 2 ways. The first way is via understanding. Okay, so I'm giving you the knowledge so that you can understand that you are consistent. You are consistent of 3 parts. You have a mind, you have a body, and your soul. And by working on all 3 of those parts as a whole, you are changing your whole. Okay, so previously, for those of you, I'm pretty sure, because I was myself included at some point, you generally tend to work on maybe one part like the body because you see that in the mirror, you critique all that, so you start working on that. But you find that it's hard. It's hard for you to accomplish your goals. Or if you do accomplish them, then you find that you're not happy with it. Well, guess what? By understanding that you are a whole person consisting of 3 parts, that's going to help you transform your life. Now, also what we're doing in this transform your life in 15 minutes is we're giving you tools in order to help you succeed. So I'm giving you tools for the mind, the body, and the soul. And the tools of choice is for the mind, we're reading books. So for this particular challenge, we're reading The Psycho-Cybernetics by Dr. Maxwell Maltz. And I'll talk about this book a little later because I want to kind of finish this portion of it first. But this is the mind portion. We're reading the book. Now, for the body portion, we're actually doing yoga. And for this challenge, we're doing yoga sun salutation. So we're doing that for 5 minutes. And then for the soul portion, we're doing a meditation. Specifically, we are focusing on our breath. Okay, so we're doing 5-minute meditation. Now, if you, for some reason, this is your first time joining me, you're like, oh man, I missed it. Guess what? These have all been recorded. So you can actually find these on my Facebook fan page. You can just go on the link that says videos, or a little bit more convenient for you if you want to watch them all, you can see them on my YouTube channel. Just look for me, Pia McAdams, just search for me. All of these are recorded. And I also want to remind you that I did separate recordings. I did a separate recording on this book of what attracted me to this particular book. I also did a separate recording of a guided sun salutation in yoga. So if you're wondering like, okay, I got to watch you so I can see what I'm doing, I actually did a whole complete video where I just tell you what to do in the sun salutation. And then likewise, I did a separate video on how to do Ujjayi breathing. Okay, so it's focusing on your breath. When the meditation, I show you how to do that. All right, so now that that's out of the way, some exciting news. I'm so excited, I can't wait to tell you. Okay, so this is 30 days challenge, and this is the 30th day. So you are done. Again, I want to congratulate you, pat yourself on the back. I know you've been transformed because you're telling me this. You're not telling me in the comments. I get it, but you are telling me offline, and I do appreciate you doing that. So my first exciting news is that this is not going to end. It's not. However, it's not going to be called a challenge anymore. I'm just going to drop off the word challenge, and it's going to be transform your life in 15 minutes. This is going to be a daily broadcast every single morning, 6 o'clock a.m. Now, obviously, there may be some times when I'm traveling. I may have to adjust the time a bit. But for the most part, it's going to be a daily live broadcast. So it's no longer a challenge. You can just pop in and then do this on a daily basis, because if you're going to transform your life, it requires change. And just doing 30 days of it, it equates to like 8 hours. So you want to continuously do that. I don't want to just kind of leave you hanging and dry, right? But I'm also excited to talk about the changes that's coming up for the new Transform Your Life. So starting June 1, like again, I'm going to continue on tomorrow, but continue on tomorrow, I'm going to continue with this book. But starting in June 1, there's going to be complete changes. So it's going to be a new book. It's going to be new yoga routine. It's going to be new meditation. And I'm so excited to tell you that the book that we're going to be utilizing is the book that I wrote. Yes, I wrote the book. I'm so excited. So I wrote the book. Now, let me just tell you right now, I'm still working with the publisher because there's a lot of logistics going involved, because the book right now is in editing. You got to do the book cover. We got to look at the title again. So again, there's still some logistics that have to be worked out, but at least I will be able to read from the book. I may not have the book available for download for you immediately, but I will at least be able to read the book. So I'm so excited to share my book with you and tell you about other exciting things that's coming up in relation to that as well. Okay? So without further ado, let's go ahead and get finished with this day's challenge. And again, I'm going to see you again tomorrow, right? So we have some more time. Now, to sum up this book, Psycho-Cybernetics, if I had to say exactly, let's say in the portion that we've read, because so far we've gotten up to chapter 7, and there's actually 15 chapters in this book. So up to chapter 7, if I had to summarize what this book is actually letting you know that our brain, we have been programmed to be a success mechanism, meaning our creator, God created us to be successful. And in order for us to be able to utilize that success, we have to know how we work. So the last few days, I did this drawing. So I want to kind of conclude with this, to summarize, I should say. This is a picture of your mind. Let me get my little pointer here. This part right here. And again, I know it's backwards, but you can still understand it. Okay, so when you think about your mind, I want you to think about your mind with this picture in mind. Okay, so the top portion of your mind is known as your conscious mind, which is your thinking mind. This is where those thoughts are coming in. And then the bottom portion of your mind is known as your subconscious mind. This is your emotional mind. This is where all the feelings are coming, right? So what you think and what you feel translate into your habits and your beliefs, and that results into your action and results or lack thereof. Okay, so for instance, if you're consciously thinking negative thoughts, then guess what? You're programming negative thoughts in here. Okay, if you're thinking positive thoughts, you're programming positive thoughts. But think about it, it's only in the conscious mind. In order to get those positive thoughts down here into your subconscious mind so that it reaches your body for action, you have to put emotions with it. Now let me explain to you why I didn't say negative thoughts, because guess what? Automatically, when you start thinking negative thoughts, you already conjure up those emotions. Like you get mad and you feel like a failure and you emotionally feel that. So you immediately program those negativity into your body, which is why you're having trouble with your actions. Okay. However, with positive thoughts, a lot of times we say, okay, I'm going to say some affirmations. So you just say the affirmations. Okay, I know you said be around positive people, so I've changed my circle. So you're doing that, but these are just conscious actions. You have to put some emotion to it in order for it to translate down to your body. All right, so this is how your mind works. Now, I also explained that when we were born, so as little babies, we were born with only the subconscious mind. Okay, so this is the bottom portion of our mind when we were born. And so all of this was open, and the environment, particularly, namely our parents, actually put in these thoughts and beliefs into our subconscious. So this is like they laid down the blueprint for us. So whatever your parents thought about money and relationships and religion and the government, they all programmed that into your mind. I know some of you guys don't like the word program, but it's really the best applicable word, because not necessarily that they're doing it negatively. It's just that that's the way life is, right? You're talking to your husband about money, or, I want some money, and your husband's saying, I don't have enough. And you're hearing all this. And so that's being programmed into your mind. They didn't say anything negative. They're just talking about money. But because underlining there was the lack of money, then all of a sudden programmed in your mind, there was a lack of money. I know we've all heard the phrase at some point or another when we were a child, money doesn't grow on trees. So then guess what's being programmed in our mind? Lack of money. It doesn't grow on trees. Okay. So as a child, we're being programmed into our subconscious so that when we reach an adult, we have a self-image of ourselves. So if you're having trouble reaching your goals, this is why. It's because of your self-image. For example, let's say that you're having trouble meeting people. Let's say that you feel that people don't like you for whatever reason. It's because subconsciously you think that you're an unlikable person. If, let's say, you are an overweight person and you are doing things to lose weight and you're losing weight and people are giving you compliments, but inside you're not feeling, successful. You're like, I still feel overweight. It's because your self-image has you appearing as an overweight person. So this is what we're talking about in this particular book, but we're then giving us tools to help us combat all this. And then the final thing I want to bring up, because this is how we're going to change it, is understanding this diagram. So again, this is your mind. This is the thinking portion. This is your conscious level. I want you to realize that your conscious level is like a drill sergeant, okay? And what is the purpose of a drill sergeant? Even if you haven't been in the military, exposed to military, at some point you've been exposed to what they are about, right? Well, the purpose of a drill sergeant is to give orders. And so that's what your conscious mind, the purpose of your conscious mind is to give the orders. And then your subconscious mind, this is your emotional mind, is like the recruits. Okay, what is the purpose of the recruits? Just to say yes, drill sergeant. Your recruits never say no. They only know the word yes. Well, guess what? Your subconscious mind only knows the word yes. So, for example, if you think or if you say, I can't do this, then guess what your subconscious mind says? Yes, drill sergeant, you can't do this. And then guess what? Your body will not perform that action and you won't be able to do it. If you think I am a failure, then your recruit says, yes, you are a failure. And then guess what? Your body relates and acts like a failure. This is why it's important to be positive and not just positive. Put some emotional with it. Say, I can. And then your recruit says, yes, you can. And this, guess what? Then your body takes the action. Okay, so this is what we're learning in this book, is understanding your mind and how it works, and then how you can utilize it to be successful, because we were already programmed to be successful. And if you're wondering, well, if I was programmed to be successful, then why aren't I? Well, I just explained it, because there's been mechanisms that's involved that prevented you from doing that, namely your self-image. So we learned tools such as visualization, mental picturing, relaxation, and acting as if. So these are the tools that we learn. And guess what? These were the tools that we used as a little child growing up, whether you're a girl or a little boy. Girls, we like to play pretend. We had pretend dollhouse. We had pretend tea. Boys, you had pretend cowboys and Indians, okay? So we used to do all this stuff. We used to daydream and all that as a child. Well, guess what? Those are the tools that will also help you as an adult to help pre-program your self-image. All right, so now let's get specifically to the book so we can go on to the 5-minute portion of it. I knew I was going to go over today, but what I said to myself is, when I say transform your life in 15 minutes, I mean 15 minutes from when we start from the book. Now we're starting from the book, so now your 15 minutes starts. Okay, so in chapter 5, we are learning about happiness and how happiness is a habit. So again, this is another way for us to pre-program our self-image. So we're learning specifically how we can utilize or develop that habit of happiness. So today I'm going to be reading from Happiness is a Mental Habit That Can Be Cultivated and Developed. All right, it starts off with a quote by Abraham Lincoln, and it says, most people are about as happy as they make up their minds to be. Can't summarize it any better than that, because that is so true. It says that happiness is purely, I forgot to stop my timer. Happiness is purely internal, said psychologist Dr. Matthew Chappell, author of The Name of Common Sense and Back to Self-Reliance. It is produced not by objects, but by ideas, thoughts, and attitudes which can be developed and constructed by an individual's own activities, irrespective of the environment. No one, other than a saint, can be 100% happy all the time. And as George Bernard Shaw quipped, we would probably be miserable if we were. But we can, by taking thought and making a simple decision, be happy and think pleasant thoughts a large share of the time, regarding that multitude of little events and circumstances of daily living that now makes us unhappy. Okay, so again, you're not going to be happy 100% of the time, but if you can be happy a majority of the time, regardless of what's going on in your life, that's the key. Now, to a large extent, we react to petty annoyances, frustrations, and the like with grumpiness, dissatisfaction, resentment, and irritability purely out of habit. We have practiced reacting that way so long it has become habitual. Much of this habitual unhappiness reaction originated because of some event that we interpreted as a blow to our self-esteem. A driver honks his horn at us unnecessarily. Someone interrupts us and doesn't pay attention while we're talking. Are you guys paying attention? Someone doesn't come through for us as we think he should. Even impersonal events can be interpreted and reacted to as affronts to our self-esteem. The bus we wanted to catch had to be late. It had to go and rain when we had planned to play golf. Traffic had to get into a snarl just when we need to catch the plane. We react with anger, resentment, self-pity, or in other words, unhappiness. Stop letting things push you around. The best cure I have found for this sort of thing is to use unhappiness' own weapon, self-esteem. Have you ever been to a TV show and seen the master of ceremonies manipulate the audience? I asked the patient. He brings out a sign that says applause and everyone applauds. He brings out another that says laughter and everyone laughs. They act like sheep as if they were slaves and meekly reacting as they are told to react. You are acting the same way. You are letting outward events and other people dictate to you how you shall feel and how you shall react. You are acting as an obedient slave and obeying promptly when some event or circumstances signals you to be angry, get upset, or now is the time to feel unhappy. Learning the happiness habit, you become a master instead of a slave. And as Robert Louis Stevenson said, the habit of being happy enables one to be freed, or largely freed, from the domination of outward conditions. Okay, so your opinion can add to unhappy events. Even in regard to tragic conditions and the most adverse environment, we can usually manage to be happier, if not completely happy, by not adding to the misfortune our own feelings of self-pity, resentment, and our own adverse opinions. How can I be happy? The wife of an alcoholic husband asked me. Well, I don't know, I said, but you can be happier by resolving not to add resentment and self-pity to your misfortune. How can I possibly be happy as a businessman? I have just lost $200,000 on the stock market. I am ruined and disgraced. You can be happier, I said, by not adding to your own opinion to the facts. It is the fact that you lost $200,000. It is your opinion that you are ruined and disgraced. I then suggested he memorize a saying by Epictetus, which has always been a favorite of mine. Men are disturbed not by the things that happen, but by their opinion of the things that happen. When I announced that I wanted to be a doctor, I was told that this could not be because my folks had no money. It was the fact that my mother had no money. I was only in opinion I could never be a doctor, or it was only opinion I could never be a doctor. Later, I was told I could never take postgraduate courses in Germany, and that it was impossible for a young plastic surgeon to hang out his own shingle and go into business for himself in New York. I did all those things. And one of the things that helped me was that I kept reminding myself of all these impossibilities were opinions, not facts. I only managed to reach my goals, but I was happy in the process, even when I had to pawn my overcoat to buy medical books and do without lunch in order to purchase cadavers. I was in love with a beautiful girl. She married someone else. These were facts, but I kept reminding myself that was merely my opinion, that was a catastrophe, and that life was not worth living. I not only got over it, but it turned out it was one of the luckiest things that ever happened to me. Okay, so this is very important to understand. Okay, happiness, of course, is a mental state. You are the master of your happiness. You are the master of your choices. So in other words, don't let these outside events, don't let these other people, whether it be your co-workers or your school-age friends or your family, anybody divert your happiness, because you have control of it, not them. All right, that is it for the mind portion. And so we're now going to be going on to the body. And then, okay, I remember to grab my phone this time. And then also maybe to the meditation. So I'm so excited to continue with this book with you guys because there's still a lot more to learn about our subconscious mind, because again, all of this is helping us to reach our goal, and that is overall purpose, right? We want to be successful. And remember I said in the previous recording, you define success. Okay, so I can't define success for you. You define success. And so all you have to do is tell yourself, make a decision that you're going to reach your goals, and then let it out to the universe. Don't stress over it. And then guess what? With the tools that we've been learning up to date, you will be able to reach those goals. All right, so we're moving on to the yoga portion, and then immediately we're going to go to the meditation. And this is a practice, so I want you to join with me. Uh-oh. Namaste. All right, this brings us to the meditation portion. So I want you to come to a nice seated, comfortable position. If you're seated in a chair, take your shoes off so that your feet are grounded on the floor. If you're lying down, close your eyes and just kind of put the tongue toward the roof of your mouth. So if you're pressing toward your teeth, you generally will fall asleep. I want you to clear your mind. As the thoughts come into your mind, just gently push them aside. And remember, meditation is a practice. All the thoughts that come to your mind, that's a normal occurrence. It just lets you know that you have a healthy brain. But it's your job in your practice to learn how to control it. So you have to be patient with yourself. So in order to do this, we're going to focus on our breath. We're going to be doing Ujjayi breathing. We're going to inhale, and as you inhale, your stomach is going to come up or come out, and your chest is going to rise as the diaphragm moves up into the chest cavity. And as you exhale, your chest is going to fall, and then your stomach is going to go in as the diaphragm returns to its original position. So just focus on your breath. We're inhaling for a count of 1, exhaling for a count of 2. refreshed and calm. You've done something good for yourself today. Okay, that concludes your 30-day challenge to transform your life in 15 minutes. It has been my pleasure to facilitate this challenge for you. And as I mentioned, I'm so excited because, again, this is going to be a live continuous broadcast every single morning at 6 a.m. So when you get the opportunity, pop in and join me. Starting June 1st, I'll have new routines for all the mind, the body, and the soul. It is my hope to help all of us transform our life together, and we're just going to do it a little piece at a time. So remember, even if you don't have time to, let's say, take out 15 minutes, because let's say on the East Coast, this is 6 o'clock in the morning. In the middle of the earth, Patty and her daughter are up at 1 o'clock in the morning watching this live, and I really appreciate you doing that, Patty. Again, when you want change, you have to give up something, and that may be sleep, but I guarantee you, when you make that little bit of effort, it's going to pay off tremendously in your life, because again, this is all designed to help you to be successful. But I want you to understand, it just takes a little bit at a time. So if, let's say you don't have the 15 minutes in the morning, my recommendation is this: when you get up in the morning, do some yoga. The yoga sun salutation is a great way to start your morning. You're paying tribute to the sun for giving you the energy to have a great day. You're also strengthening your body, because if you notice, a lot of the poses that we're doing, the downward facing dog, the one that I'm like the inverted V, that is actually a resting position. But if you're new to yoga, that is challenging itself because the way that you're holding your body. So yoga is a great way to strength train and to change your body. Now, as you go on throughout your day, take time in the middle of your day to do a meditation, like the 5-minute meditation where you're just focusing on your breath. And let's say you don't have 5 minutes. Well, guess what? Take 3 minutes. Take 3 deep breaths. Just at some point throughout your day, just go internal, close off your mind, close off those thoughts, and just kind of push them aside and just focus on your breathing and on your breath. All right, so the purpose of meditation is to clear your mind. Now, there's different types of meditation, but the purpose of meditation is to clear and calm your mind. And then just before you go to bed, read something positive. I hear all the time, well, Pia, I read, but I always ask as a coach, what are you reading? Okay, so it's what you're reading. The fact that you're reading is great. Don't get me wrong, reading is fundamental. You should read as much as you can get. But when it comes to changing yourself, you have to change your habits. Now, if what you're doing is effective and you're succeeding and you're reaching your goals, by all means, don't change it. But if what you're doing is not working, be open to trying something different. And that is the purpose of me doing this on a daily basis, is to introduce something different to you, things that will open your mind up and help you to be more successful. So again, I want to congratulate you for sticking with me the whole 30 days, and I'm looking forward to helping us continue transforming our lives. See you tomorrow. Bye.